I came to Fort McMurray with my husband 9 years ago from the west coast of BC. So a little town called Gibsons. You have to take a ferry to get there, but it's not on an island. He promised me an adventure. The kids were grown up and had left home, and he said, "Come on, honey, let's go to northern Alberta. It'll be an adventure." So I'm certainly holding that over his head these days. It has been an adventure. I worked for Statistics Canada for a few years. I was a kitchen manager at the curling club in Didsbury, Alberta for a while, back and forth. I've worked for the Centre of Hope, and I currently work for the food bank for about 3 years. I have a degree in early childhood education. I did go to university. I have an associate degree in sociology, a BA in psychology, and then a certificate in developmental disabilities. Food is my passion. I think that we've forgotten how to eat. We've forgotten what real food is. And food feeds the body, absolutely, but food feeds the soul, right? Food is my language at times. I can say I love you with food. I often, if you knew me, you'd understand, I say I'm sorry with food. And it brings us all together, right, to a table, and we share it together, and there's discussion, there's openness. Food is such a huge part of my life. And so I get to, at my job now, I get to share that with everybody. I get to reintroduce them to food. I think my current job, I combine all of my professional skills and learning and experience, but then also all my life skills and learning and experience. I really do think I have the perfect job. I'm the program manager at the food bank, and that means anything to do with programs is what I do. So that could be from the dream of a program to the funding. We have a saying, if you can dream it and you can find the funding, then we can do it. At the food bank, we are part of the emergency social services team, so we worked the evacuation center. I did go home the morning, early hours, or the night before the fire really spread on May 3rd to get a couple hours sleep, and I was back at 5 a.m. And it soon became apparent that this was a very big thing. And about 3 o'clock we found out that we'd lost the house. And I think my knees may have buckled for a moment, but then you just stand back up because there will be time later to think about it and grieve. What I lost in the fire, those really were things. As much as they were my treasures, people will always be more important in that regard. And people were panicking. There were children, there were elderly people. People were so scared. And if that really was, you know, my daughters were so mad that we stayed, furious. They were texting, you know, "Mom, get out of there, get out of there, get out of there." And I said, no. And what if that was the last thing that you did? Are you going to run away? Are you going to spend those last minutes doing everything that you can to make everyone else's end better? Of course that's the choice you would make. Of course that's what you would do. Otherwise, what would my whole life of giving and doing mean if I had quit doing that at the end? That was not a choice. That was just, you just kept doing what you do. And we stayed till the end. We got everybody onto the buses, and then we left. We ran out of food, yeah, because the staff of Mac Island had left to go home to their families. So we just didn't have any food. Somebody would come up maybe with 1 box of Teddy Grahams, and then we'd divide them up into 8 little cups so that at least 8 people could have something. You know, we tried to share out everything we had. So, and the whole world apparently knew that the Fort McMurray had been evacuated, but we weren't told that at the evacuation center. I believe it was 5 hours after the official evacuation before we were told that we were under evacuation. But no, we weren't aware. It was quite an eye-opener to find out after. I think what inspires me or motivates me are challenges. There's nothing I love more than a challenge. So I had a saying when we were bringing up the girls, because I raised the 3 daughters, and you weren't allowed to say "I can't" in our house. You can say, "I can't figure it out right now, I can't see how to do this," but never just flat out, I can't, because that's very rarely true. If you've got stress or unhappiness or uncertainty or bad health or whatever it is that you're struggling with, emotional health today, if you get up and you go out there and you find someone that needs you, if you find something you can do to make someone else's life better, you've done that, but you're also making yourself better just by doing that. You will feel better about yourself. You will forget about what's wrong in your life. It's more than faking it till you make it. It's a very real and very powerful thing that happens. When you put yourself out there and you make a difference, you are helping yourself too. And if that's all you can do, if that's your goal for the day, I mean, if we all did that, the world would be so much better.
Yvonne Ormso, Woman of Inspiration.